What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the shop. Now I have a nice simple project for you today. Some 2x4 or 4x2 3-legged I-beam sawhorses. These things are super simple to put together, extremely strong and extremely stable. A nice little project. You can make them as complicated or as simple as you like. There's very little hand tools. If you had a saw and a screw gun, you're good to go. If you have a miter saw, even better again. Yeah, not very complicated, but very sturdy, very stable and stackable. So why 3 legs? Well, 3 legs are slightly more stable on uneven ground than 4 legs. These ones are stackable, like I say. They're a little bit lighter, not much. And once you stack them, you save a lot more space in the front. It's only the width of a board rather than the width of those 2 legs. So you can stick the 2 back legs into a corner and you're only losing the width of a board up front on the sawhorse. So if you're in a small shop, you're cut for space, the 3-legged option will save you just a little bit more space. Not much, but just a little, so everything helps out. So yeah, let's crack on. I'll take you through it. I'll show you what you need to make it, and it's a nice fun little project for the weekend. Now, why did I build them? Just a quick little note. I'm going to have to build a new workbench soon, so there's going to be an upcoming project on a workbench. I'm going to have to take this workbench apart because the top has twisted on me now, and it's got to the point now where it's just unusable and I can't put anything across it because it's not level. So a couple of sawhorses are going to be very handy for that upcoming project. And yeah, let's go take a look. Enough of me talking, let's do it. Right guys, so I have our 4x2 or 2x4s here. I've just trued up the ends of them on the miter saw. Now we're going to cut 8 pieces exactly 3 feet or 91.5 centimeters. That will be the top of our sawhorse, the center piece of our sawhorse, and our 2 back legs. And once we have all that cut and assembled, we can measure our front leg using a level, and we can then measure the bottom piece as well. So we need to cut the bottom piece a little bit shorter to allow for our front leg, which will be a single leg that will drop down. So we have to cut this shorter than the top piece. It'll all make sense in a minute. So yeah, let's get cutting 8 pieces, exactly 3 feet. Let's do it. Okay, cool. So that's our 8 pieces cut. Now we're going to cut our bottom pieces. So our I-beams are just going to go together like this. We'll have a bottom piece, the center piece of our I-beam, and the top piece. Now we're going to have a single front leg which will drop off this. So we need to cut 2 bottom pieces less the width of our front leg, which will be here. So we'll just mark this and cut 2 pieces, again, less the width of the leg. Now, 4x2 or 2x4 is just a nominal size, so they're never exactly 4 inches or 2 inches thick. They're usually less than 4 inches and about 1.5 inches thick. So we'll measure these exactly and we'll take that off our bottom 2 pieces. Right, so if we measure the width of our 2x4 or our 4x2, you can see it's not actually 4 inches wide. It's about a 1/4 of an inch shy of that. It's not even 100 millimeters. It's about 97 mil. So again, like 4x2 or 2x4 is just a nominal length. So easiest way to get the width of our our bottom piece is just line up our edge of our board. We know the exact thickness, mark a line, and we can measure that. And it is 818 millimeters. So we're going to cut 2 pieces now, 818 millimeters. Right, okay, there we go. That's all our pieces cut to length except for our front 2 legs, which we'll get the measurement of those using a level now in a minute after we assemble all these pieces. So we're going to set aside 4 of our 3-foot lengths, which are 91.5 centimeters or 915 mil, or exactly 3 feet. They will be our 2 back angled legs. Then we have 4 pieces to make up our I-beams. So again, these are exactly 3 feet. So we have a top piece and our center piece. And then we cut the bottom pieces of our I-beams to, what did I say, 818 millimeters, I think. It's in the video. I'm trying to remember all these measurements. But yeah, that's just to allow for the width of our front leg. So we're going to screw all these together. So what we'll do is we'll measure the centers of all these now so we can line them up and screw them together. We'll screw and countersink the top of our I-beam. We're going to drive the screws deep into the top of our I-beam, just so if we're running any saws and we clip the top of our I-beam, any circular saws, we don't clip the screws. So they'll go deep. We won't glue the top of it because that's a sacrificial piece. So if you're running cuts through it, you can replace the top of the I-beam of your sawhorse with a new piece, a fresh piece. And yeah, we will glue the bottom part because that's going to stay as is. So let's get on that. Right, there's the center of our 3 pieces marked. So across the width of our top and bottom, we got our center, and across the height or the vertical, we got the center of our I-beam. Now, measure and mark each side of each piece individually. Don't just get one measurement and use it for top and bottom because all these pieces vary by 2 to 3 millimeters. It's just construction timber. It's never exactly the same width, the same length, the same thickness. So measure each of your marks individually. Get your center and scribe your line. It just helps us align everything up both ends for when we're screwing this together. So yeah, nice and simple. Let's crack on. Right, I'm just going to pre-drill the top piece now. I've just marked our center line across our top piece just to make it easier. So 4 screws on the top of this should be plenty. Just going to pre-drill it. Just roughly space them out. Don't have to be exact, although you can be exact if you wish. That should be good. And I want to countersink these. If I can find my countersink bit. Here it is. So we want to go deep with the countersink on our top pieces because we want to be 1/4 of an inch below the top of this, just in case you ever run your circular saw through the top of your sawhorse. It is a sacrificial piece after all, and we don't want to hit the screws with our blade. Ooh, that is hot. Actually, I might just use a 10mm bit instead. Just roughly down 1/4 of an inch. Again, doesn't have to be exact. That should do. Okay, take our center of our I-beam then. Line up this guy. There we go. And let's get a screw in that. Make sure we're nice and lined up. Yeah. Lovely. So we're just 1/4 of an inch below our top, just in case, like I say, we ever hit it with our saw blade. So I'm going to do the same on this end. Line it up exactly with our center line. I'll just start our screw off. There you go. Exactly lined up. And drive that home. Lovely. 2 more should do. Beautiful. And that's the top of our sawhorse attached. Now we're going to do the bottom. The bottom we can glue and screw, so it's going to be the same process. I'm just going to pre-drill this. Don't really have to countersink it because I don't have to worry about cutting into this. So I'm going to get my bottom piece. Again, I've marked my center line just to make it easy to drill. So 4 holes again. roughly spaced out. Doesn't have to be perfect. Lovely. Now, let's get some glue on this guy. So, we don't have to put the glue on the whole way because obviously we're stopping short actually. I go from this end so you can see it on the camera. Just mark where we're going to be stopping with our glue. And actually it would be a good idea to mark our center point back here too, just so we can align it. So 40 millimeters thick, exactly 20 mil to the center. There we go. Don't have to go too mad with the glue. Lovely. Okay. Line this guy up. Exactly with our centers. Drive that home. Start our screw off on this end. Make sure we are exactly center again. Keep that screw as straight as we can. And just drive it a small bit below the surface. 2 more. Lovely. So there's one of our I-beams complete. That will be the top. This will allow for our leg to drop down. So we're just going to repeat this exact same process now for the other one, and then we're going to screw our legs on. Let's rock and roll. Okay, now that we have our I-beams complete, we're going to attach our back legs, and this is super simple. So just take your back leg, align it with your back edge, like that. Press it down, so make sure you're aligned with this edge and this edge here. Just press him down tight to your top of your I-beam. Pre-drill 4 holes, so drill them at an angle so they're straight down through your timber this way, not straight with the board, if you know what I mean. So it's straight down into this guy, and we're just going to get 2 top screws in now to hold it. It's fairly straightforward. Just start these guys off. And make sure everything is nice and flush so that our legs are nice and straight. And just drive them home. Lovely. 2 more then. Beautiful. And it's the same process for the other side and the other 2 legs. So let's do that. Right, our two sawhorses are almost done. Now we want to just cut our single front legs, and to do that, I just want to make sure that my sawhorse is perfectly level. Just going to take a sawhorse, put it on top, or take the sawhorse, put a level on top of him. I'll take my measuring tape, drop it to the floor, get that exactly level. We can do a fine adjustment on a little while if we need to. So there we go, that is 88.5 centimeters, or 885 mil exactly. And you can cut that a little bit strong because it's easy, put it there, it's easy to take some off than to add some on. So you can cut it a little bit strong just to get a fine adjustment and nip a bit off with the miter saw if you so need. So yeah, we're going to cut that now, 88.5. And that will be our front leg. Okay, we've just worked it to level there. I have a slight little rock in the top of my sawhorse. This top piece is not perfectly flat, so not 100% ideal, but you know, it's only a rough work sawhorse. There's a tiny little bit in it, so if I actually take my level from the top of my two legs, because obviously this piece will be getting changed out, we are 100% perfectly level there now. So that's good to go. We'll measure the next one now and do the same thing. Okay, there's two perfectly level sawhorses, both this way across each sawhorse and perfectly level between the sawhorses. I haven't fixed the front legs yet. Now, I think we might, just for a bit more woodworking fun, I might cut a little half lap into the front leg just to make this edge flush with the top of our I-beam. And again, yeah, just for a bit of crack, I have a depth stop on my new miter saw, so why not use it? Yeah, it's nice and simple. Little half lap in this. Mark this, the depth that we need to go in, and we'll set our saw up to that depth. Take that piece out, and we'll sit it in. Now, one thing to remember, these are going to be stackable sawhorses, so this leg will stay on this side, and this leg will be on this side of the sawhorse. So I'll just mark that so we don't mix it up. Right, let's mark these half laps and let's cut them out. Okay, I better explain something quick just in case you run into this a little mistake. So I've marked the thickness I need to take out of this piece by just putting it in place and marking it along this edge. Now, I don't take out this piece in here. I take out the outside piece. This is the thickness that it has to go in. As you can see, it's slightly wider on this side than it is on this side. If I was to take this piece out and line it up, I would be in. If I lined it up with the edge of my board, you could see I'm nearly in the width of the pencil. So flip that around, line up that line with the edge of this guy here. You can see that I'm perfect with this outside edge. So when you're marking it, you're marking the outside here, but that's the side you need to take out. When you flip that around, that is exactly the thickness that needs to come off the board, okay? So don't make the mistake of just doing what I did, marking that mark, and then taking out this piece in here because you think it's the inside that has to come out. It is the inside that has to come out, but facing this way, okay? So don't make that mistake. Okay guys, we have our 2 half laps cut. Our legs are nice and flush, our front legs are nice and flush now. I've just drilled both of them for pilot holes for our screws, so I'm going to glue and screw this now. So, nice and easy. Let's get a bit of glue in this. Okay, we're almost there. We just have 2 last pieces left to cut, and that's just the cross pieces to make our A-frame for our legs. So we'll take 2 pieces of offcut that we have left over from our end of our boards, and we'll use them. So again, this is going to be nice and simple. Make sure I'm overlapping in both corners. Get my level. Drop that down as far as we can go. Level them up. And once we're level, just mark your angles. Or drop your pencil on the floor. Okay, let's do that again. Get it level. Make sure we're overlapping on both sides. There we go. Fidget around because I'm doing it on camera. Mark that flush cut. And mark that flush cut. Lovely. So there's our cuts. We'll set our angle on our miter saw and cut them. Okay, because we're making these stackable, I want to make sure that I put one on this side on one set of horses and the other on the back side of the other set of horses, just for stacking purposes. So these are nice and easy to fold away. Hey guys, we are almost there. Now we're going to stack these things. So our horse with our A-frame to the back is going to be our top saw horse. So that will sit up on top like this. Now we want these to sit a little better on the front. So we're going to take a piece out of this side of this saw horse, the width of this leg. So slide him all the way up, and then we can mark exactly what we need to take off this. Right here. Right, so there we go. That's just one of our bottom saw horse notched, just so it sits a little bit better when we stack them and we can put them away. Yeah. So now it's a case of let's give this everything a quick sand, kind of tidy it up a small bit, make it look a little bit nicer. They are only rough work saw horses, but we might as well just tidy them up a small bit. Let's give them a quick sand. guys, there we go. 2 simple 3-legged saw horses. Nice and simple, easy to build, not many hand tools required. Good, solid and stable, and stackable as well, which is nice and handy. There we go. Very, very simple. Again, why 3 legs? Well, 3 legs are slightly more stable on uneven ground, a little bit lighter, not much, but also a little bit narrower in the front. So if you haven't got much room in your shop, put the back legs into a corner, and you only need the width of a board up front here, so it's a little bit more space saving when you stack them. That's all. You can make them 4 legs just as easy. You don't have to go to all this trouble. Just repeat exactly what I've done with the back 2 legs, screw them on the front, and you have a 4-legged sawhorse. But 3 legs are just as stable, and I can say a little bit more stable on uneven ground. So there you go, guys. A little project for you to get out and do. If you're new here, think about subscribing. Hit the like button, helps me out a lot, and yeah, get out there and make something. I'll talk to you in the next one.